It's important to have this conversation early on in the person's dementia journey, where they have ability to comprehend what's been said and to understand what they're documenting. So there is a sort of window of opportunity post-diagnosis to do this, but we have to be mindful and sensitive to the fact that just given a diagnosis, they are overwhelmed with information. It's a lot to take on. Given a diagnosis of any physical or mental health, it's an emotional time. So being sensitive to the person's needs and where they're at. It's often tied in with when we discuss about getting their affairs in order, their enduring power of attorney and their finances through making a will. And it's a nice segue to get in there is that something like completing an advanced care plan is really important documentation because it advises both the family and health professionals what their wishes are for the future. See how that sits with the individual. Sometimes the reaction is, wow, that's great, really like the idea. They have a look at the leaflet and look at the booklet and they think, we'll make a start. Others you can see a little bit of hesitancy. Where's this going to take me? I'm not quite ready to make those to think too far ahead. And others, no, this isn't for me at all. So it's not about the hard sell, it's about picking the right time to address that issue. So sowing the seed is important, and so with explaining and emphasising that it's a process that takes time. Often it's described as having a conversation around the dining room table, talking about how you're feeling, and so you're sharing that with other members. In completing my own, I started writing that on my own and I found it quite difficult, quite emotive. My family live in the UK, so I got to a point where I couldn't proceed any further because I wanted to talk to them about it. So this is again, it's that thinking what I would like, writing it down and then sharing it with other people. It can be something as simple as socks in bed, or it can be when considering residential care, for instance, where that might want to be. People simply put, they don't want to be too far from the family or the whānau, that they don't have to travel too far by bus or drive. They might express that they'd like to see the golf course or the river. And so having the conversation about that, when they no longer have capacity to make those decisions and the EPOA is evoked, that then is a very emotional time for the EPOA. But if she reflects or they reflect on, hang on, we had this conversation with mum or dad and they were all right about the fact that they were going into residential care, so I'm going to be determined to find a place that overlooks the golf course. So it just eases that time, that very emotional time for the individual when they're making decisions on behalf of somebody else, knowing that we had that conversation.